Colleagues, the Senate Finance Committee is now in session. We have all of our members. Okay. And remember, starting next week, we'll be doing things in person. Things should go much more quickly. It takes a lot more time just to set up for every single thing you do this way. Okay. All right. Patrick, you're in the hot seat, and we're starting with Senate Bill 131, are we?
Yeah, with Nathan's going to start.
Or Nathan's going to start? Okay.
First bill is Senate Bill 131. This bill authorizes the Public Service Commission to suspend a new rate or change, a new rate or a change in rate proposed by a public service company for 180 days after the proposed effective date, and further authorizes PSC to extend the suspension for up to an additional 90 days if the filing is for an alternative form of rate making for a public service company. There's a reprint before you that reflects amendments offered by the chair that were requested by PSC. The amendments consolidate the 150-day suspension and the 30-day extension that is available under current law, and then reduces the new extension from 120 days to 90 days. The net effect is the addition of a 90-day suspension for the more complex alternative form of rate making.
Good. Do we have a motion?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded, or is there any discussion on the motion? If you're ready to vote, and if, let's raise our hands and see if that works. Okay, it is unanimous. Okay, we will announce it to the public. Thank you.
Senate Bill 196 is a departmental bill that streamlines and clarifies requirements for the Data-Informed Overdose Risk Mitigation Report. The bill also extends the termination date of the report from 2022 to 2024.
All right. Do we have a motion?
Move favorable. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please raise your hands. All right. It's unanimous. Thank you.
Senate Bill 257 alters the date by which the PSC must report to the General Assembly each year regarding net metering from September 1st to November 1st, and eliminates a separate reporting requirement relating to customer choice education about retail energy customer choice. The PSC advises that that information is already included in its annual report.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Move favorable. Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. Thank you.
Senate Bill 283 requires the Department of Human Services to authorize Electric Universal Service Program, EUSP, benefits for an electric customer who does not meet the eligibility requirements for the Federal Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, which has a more onerous documentation requirement. So currently, DHS uses the more stringent standard for all programs, even though statute sets EUSP standards lower, as expressed in the bill. There's a reprint before you that incorporates an amendment offered by the bill's sponsor, Senator Washington, at the request of BGE, which clarifies the applicability of current eligibility requirements for the EUSP benefits, and there was no opposition.
Move favorable.
All right, sure, but let's.
All right.
We got the motion. Can we get a second? All right, now your question.
There was a question at the hearing about groups that might not be eligible for this still in this bill, or am I thinking of a different bill? This covers pretty much anybody now can apply for this
All right,
if we pass this?
Currently, I believe the answer to your question is yes, is that if you meet the income eligibility requirements that are in current law and that are reiterated in the amendment that's included in the reprint, then you may apply for it. What the committee was told at the hearing was that LIHEAP benefits are harder to get because of more stringent documentation and eligibility requirements. and that the department was using those higher standards for all of the programs. So this just says that they need to assess people for EUSP benefits separately. It's not changing the
Okay,
eligibility
that's fine.
standards.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Senator Augustine?
Yeah, I just would want to be added as a sponsor.
Okay. All right.
I know you do.
Okay. With that addition, so it's a favorable with that additional amendment. All right. All in favor, please raise your hands. Okay, that's unanimous. Okay.
All right, next bill is Senate Bill 252.
All right, Patrick.
This is the bill that prohibits regulated non-depository entities and persons such as mortgage lenders and debt collectors from advertising or making representations that are false, misleading or deceptive, or engaging in acts that are unfair, deceptive, abusive, or injurious to the public. The bill also prohibits these entities from engaging in anti-competitive practices, such as a lender imposing as a condition for a loan a restriction on obtaining credit, property, or service from a competitor. These restrictions are similar to ones in current law applicable to banking institutions. It authorizes the Commissioner of Financial Regulation to further define specific acts or practices that are anti-competitive, unfair, deceptive, abusive, or injurious to the public interest. And it also provides that the Commissioner may issue an order requiring a person to take affirmative action to correct a violation, including making restitution to any person aggrieved by the violation. So the Commissioner of Financial Regulation testified on this bill in support, indicating that this came out of some recommendations of the Maryland Financial Consumer Protection Commission's report from 2017.
Okay, can we get a motion?
Move favorable. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please raise your hands. Thank you, that's unanimous.
Senate Bill 278 removes statutory restrictions on the ability of the Maryland Automobile Insurance Fund to collect premiums for its private passenger motor vehicle insurance policies on an installment payment basis. The restrictions under current law limit installments to 25% down in 6 installments for annual premium less than $3,000 and 20% down in 8 installments on annual premiums of $3,000 or more. Under the bill, MAIF is subject to the same provisions of law applicable to other insurers when offering installment payment plans. And in approving MAIF's plan for accepting premiums on an installment payment basis, the Maryland Insurance Commissioner must consider certain factors, such as the overall affordability of the installment payment plan in comparison to other payment options available to the policy holder.
All right, we got a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. All right.
No, it wasn't unanimous.
This was not unanimous. So this is 10 to 1.
Oh, Hershey, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Is that right, Senator Hershey?
yes, 10 to 1. Okay.
Okay, the next bill is Senate Bill 293. This is similar to a Maryland Insurance Administration departmental bill that we heard relating to title insurance producers and title insurers and annual review for title insurance producers. It repeals a requirement that a title insurer conduct annual insurance producer reviews on site and instead allows the reviews to be done at the place of business of the title insurance producer remotely using mail, overnight delivery, or electronic means, or through a combination of both on-site and remote methods. It also repeals the requirement that these reviews address policy blank inventory and processing operation, and instead requires reviews to address policy issuing and processing operations. Now, Senator Beidel has offered one amendment, which I can describe to you, that clarifies a reporting requirement applicable when an annual review uncovers suspected statutory violations. The suspected violations must be, under the amendment, the suspected violations must be reported to the Maryland Insurance Commissioner in the report of the review prepared by the title insurer, but in a form and format created by the commissioner. And so this was a request of the title insurers, and they worked it out with the insurance commissioner, and they're agreeable to this approach.
All right. Do we have a motion? All right. All in favor of this bill as amended? Okay, it's unanimous. Thank you.
Okay. The next bill on your list is Senate Bill 27. This is from Senator Augustine. The bill affects or makes changes to the laws that, provide for coordinated efforts to address Alzheimer's and related disorders in the state. The Virginia Jones Alzheimer's Disease and Related Disorders Council was established in 2013, and over the years it's been tweaked. This bill continues to modify the state's efforts to address dementias. It first establishes a Director of Dementia Services Coordinator and establishes the duties of the director. It modifies the terms of the council members on the council. It requires reports. It requires that there be funding for the director in the budget, but it doesn't specify an amount. And it removes the termination date of the council. Senator Augustine has offered mostly clarifying amendments to the bill. I'll go through them very quickly in the reprint. First, they alter they concern the name of the council and alter the director's responsibilities. In the bill, at the suggestion of the chair of the council, the name of the council will become the Virginia Jones Alzheimer's Disease and Related Dementias Council, not Disorders Council. Also, it'll be the Director of Dementia Services and Brain Health, not the Dementia Services Coordinator. And those are the changes throughout most of the amendments. So if you go straight to page 4 of 7, there's another amendment offered by Senator Augustine, which strikes the Department of Legislative Services as one of the staffing agencies for the council and under the director, because this is an executive branch function, and the department really shouldn't be taking direction from the executive branch. And there's several changes to the duties of the new director, and those start on page 5 of 7. And most of these are just clarifying and specify the responsibilities of the director. And if you go to the very back, you'll see where the sunset determination date of the council is removed.
Okay.
I'm waiting for Senator Hirsch, you just say, what does this bill do?
Can we get a motion?
Second.
All right, it's been moved favorable as amended. All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Senator Hayes, are you voting for it? All right, that's unanimous. Okay.
All right, I think this is Senator Augustine's last bill.
Okay, the next bill on your list is Senate Bill 66. The bill prohibits employers from listing any educational attainment on a job application or announcement, nor can the employer use education as a factor to limit who could pursue advancement in the organization. Licensed professions and occupations are exempted. Only after an offer of employment is made can the employer inquire about the education attainment of the applicant, but they cannot rescind a job offer based on the response. That also provides enforcement authority for commission and penalties.
It would seem to me, colleagues, that it is totally against all employment requirements anywhere in the world to say that you can't ask the person about their education until you offer them a job. Yeah.
Give the sponsor the opportunity to withdraw it if he like. Can we hold it?
Well, you know what? I normally I would say so, but let him know that, well, let's see what the vote would be. So-
The chair is looking for a motion.
All right, we need a motion unfavorable. All right. All in favor of the unfavorable motion, please raise your hand. Yeah, we'll just do it. Senator, are you voting? All right, so it's 10-1. Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay, the next bill is Senate Bill 91. I did reprint, I'm not sure why, but, because the changes are pretty modest. But, Senate Bill 91 concerns lodging establishments and human trafficking. In the bill, an innkeeper is required to maintain an electronic record-keeping system for all guest transactions and keep these records for no less than 6 months. The Office of Crime Control, Youth and Victim Services and the Maryland Department of Labor are going to be required to approve a human trafficking recognition training program for employees of the lodging establishment and employees of the innkeeper. All new employees must be trained within 45 days of hire in the program developed by the Governor's Office and the Department of Labor. And the innkeeper must develop a process for reporting instances of human trafficking in the bill. There are some amendments offered by the sponsor of the bill at the request of the Lodging Association. And I'll go straight to those. On page 3 of the reprint, you'll see that the Lodging Association requested an extension of the time which employees have to be trained to 90 days. So that's on lines 6 and 14. And they also would like more specificity about who report to. And instead of the Governor's Office of Crime Prevention and Youth, they would rather think they should report to the more appropriate law enforcement agency or the National Human Trafficking Resource Center if they identify an instance of trafficking.
Senator Reedy, yeah.
I support the aims of the bill. Just a question on the amendment. On page 2 of the reprint, a training program approved under this section, line 19, must include a video presentation that defines exploitation of a child, human trafficking, and offers guidance to employees and innkeepers recognizing potential victims of human trafficking. And then number 2 is the differences between labor and sex trafficking that are specific to the hotel industry. I'm confused. Isn't it all sex trafficking, and aren't we trying to stop all? I mean, I know human trafficking is a little bit different than prostitution, but they go very much hand in hand.
I-
So I'm just checking that these are the hotel, the lodging industries.
I believe they already do this. If I recall from the testimony in this bill and last year, that they already do a lot of this, and they have these programs available. It's just a matter of getting them out there. And I guess there is I'm not an expert in trafficking, but I gather there is a difference, and I guess the training program would highlight the difference between folks who are moved in here to do indentured servitude
Like
in
forced
homes.
prostitution versus
Yes, yes,
other types of illegal activity, but that are not being forced.
yes. So,
Okay. That's fine. It just stuck out to me as a little bit
Okay.
strange, but that's fine. Thank you.
Is there a motion?
Senator Hershey.
Senator Hershey.
Just a quick question, Madam Chair. Definition of lodging establishment, in hotel, motel, other establishment that has at least 4 rooms available. Have we, exactly, have we determined that this is not rental houses, Airbnbs, Verbos, things of that nature? Yeah, I don't know if that's 4 separate rooms, or I don't know if that's 4 differently keyed rooms. I don't know if that's 4 bedrooms.
It didn't come up whether this applies to Airbnbs or, well, so I don't know if it would apply to those kind of, because you're renting basically your own home. This would be they're not considered
But they're
inns,
talking about an
motels,
innkeeper.
hotels or motels, and I don't think B&Bs are either, because a B&B, generally the person lives in the place and then they have rooms there. So I don't think, I could check and see if there's other definitions out there, but I don't believe they would fall under this category.
I don't think I need to hold it up, but I might vote against it now and wait till it gets to the floor to get that answer.
Senator Jennings.
Going off with Senator Hershey, looking at that second line, or other establishment that has at least 4 rooms available for a fee. If there's individual rooms, or, you know, if a house has 4 bedrooms and I rent it, you- I'm gonna say-
None of this came up. I'll look in to see, I believe this applies to what you traditionally consider hotels and motels.
No, I get it, and I understand, I just,
Yeah, I'll make
I mean,
sure.
to me, this is, a 4-bedroom house would
Because
fall
you-
under this.
Because you're
Unless you
talking
had the word
about an
individually-
innkeeper. And so you wouldn't have an innkeeper if you were your private home and you were just renting.
I'm an innkeeper if I have a Verbo or a Airbnb, because you and
Do
I
you want to
are
hold the-
contacting online.
David, would you suggest we hold it a day and,
I'll look in to see, I believe there's a separate set, well, there's no real laws, as you all know, regarding Airbnbs. But, so I'll look in to see what this section of law is about and what it's always been applied to. So we can, do you want to hold it until I get that information? Okay.
okay, let's just hold it. Okay. So just, okay.
And the next bill, because I am all in with Senator Hershey, I'm gonna move favorable right out of the gate. Because I care about Senator Hershey.
I'll second it.
Yeah.
And it's been seconded.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. All right, that's unanimous.
There is an amendment. There's an amendment offered by the senator, and it takes out the secondary, so you're just focusing on the core entity, or the core conditions, which most of them are already in the, yeah.
Qualify favorable as amended.
Okay,
Madam Chair,
yes.
I would like to be a co-sponsor.
Senator, Klausmeyer wants to be a co-sponsor. Is that okay? Everybody, all right,
I'm okay with her being a co-sponsor.
all right, okay. And Senator Benson? Okay, all right. And Senator Bell.
That ends our voting session.
All right, this is the end of our voting session.